So I'm here with Joel Leonard, and he is amazing because he keeps doing great things, especially for our industry. He is one of our authors in our book. He has the last chapter in the book, so of course it's a very special chapter. Um, he does amazing things, and I love the work that he's been doing so far. So Joel, thank you for joining us this morning. I know
Thank you.
it's always trying to fit it into your schedule, because you're a very busy guy, very, very busy. So I want you to tell us a little bit more about what you do. Like, what is your day-to-day thing like?
Well, my life's mission is to build the next generation of skilled technicians. We are in the midst of a major, they call it the gray tsunami or silver tsunami.
Yes.
And we have so many kids that are not getting prepared for the needs of that our society really needs them to step up to do. And we over glorify certain things like sports and entertainment and now gambling, and our kids aren't developing the skill sets that really we need them to have. And so I've been trying to figure out approaches, strategies, and programs in order to develop that. And writing the last chapter of your book's one of the honors of my life, because it's really what I try to do is to explain the importance of why we need to do this. Because if we don't, we are literally handicapping the performance of our manufacturing and our society, because we need people to do the things that aren't necessarily glorified. And what we need to do also is glorify what needs to be done. What we glorify is what we get. So that's what I've been doing, and I do that through a variety of programs. And originally, I came up with the importance of doing this while attending the SMRP conference, Society for Manufacturing Reliability Professionals, in October of 2002 at a 30-degree Fahrenheit outside. This conference I was at, it was 30 degrees Fahrenheit inside. We had 600 attendees of this engineering conference at the hotel. And there were 90% of the audience that raised their hand that they were going to retire in the next 10 years. And so that was in 2002. The person that asked that poll has already passed. We've got and this is 600 attendees, 90% said they were going to retire. So most of them are already gone. And that was when you're standing there reading statistic is, kind of dry. But when you're standing there and you're seeing and you know the history of some of these folks, and you know the importance, you know the power, and you know the capability they had, and you know replacing them is not going to be easy. So I made that on that spot. I literally came up with the why I needed to change my direction in my life and develop a purpose. And it was really reinforced when we walked outside in 30-degree weather in October of 2002 in Nashville. And there were 5,000 kids, 16 to 20 something years old, standing outside in 30-degree weather singing. And I was like, what are they standing in line to do? And it didn't make any sense to me. So I went up and talked to him. He said, well, we're trying to get on American Idol so we can all win $1 million. So
Motivation. Motivation.
Yeah. So, one person made $1 million. And that particular year, there was a lot of speculation whether that was that was a corrupt process, because some people that seemed like they deserved it didn't get it. Anyway, the whole point of it is you got all these kids that say it's their passion to sing, and we got everything falling apart. We got our infrastructure, we got our manufacturing, we got to replace our existing workers. And it's nice to sing, but we can't depend on it. We gotta make things work, and we got to keep things going. And so that's why I made it my life's mission, is to build the next generation of skilled technicians. And that evening we had some barley infused beverages. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And we were sitting around the table and we were all talking about what was said at the conference. What we could do to replace it. Somebody said, "Well, we need to write a book." And I said, "Well, that's great to write a book, but not many people read nowadays. And so, what if we write an article?" They said, "Yeah, that's probably better because it's shorter and people might pick it up." But the thing is, we need to do more than that. And so I said, why not do what these kids do? Why not write a song?
Right.
And one of my best friends told me the one of the meanest things he ever could say, and that was one of the best things. He says, "That's a good idea, but you'll never do it." So I had to provoke. He provoked me, so I had to answer the call, and I went ahead and wrote the Maintenance Crisis song, which has been recorded 20 years ago. It's been re-recorded in 15 genres. It's been played internationally all over at least 100 conferences. It's been played on National Public Radio. It's been played in numerous events and venues all over. And I've had people come up to me singing the song for me.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and I even wrote a follow-up piece because we need to get women into this field, and I call it the Find Me a Maintenance Woman. You may laugh and you may jeer, but you can keep your Britney Spears because I need a woman that can work with gears. I need a woman. I need to find me a maintenance woman. So the thing is, we need to get. Oh, by the way, I actually speak at schools all the time, and I was in a town 2 hours from here, and from where I live in Asheboro, North Carolina. I was in Raleigh, and I spoke at this school, and I was playing "Find Me a Maintenance Woman." 3 of the girls in the audience literally were singing this along with the song.
Yes.
And I was like, "How did you hear this song?" They said they play it on QDR, which is a local country station, all the time. And their parents laugh every time they hear it. And they love it. So they knew the lyrics of the words.
Good.
Perfect. And you can find that if you Google on YouTube, "Find Me a Maintenance Woman," Joel Leonard, you can listen to that song. But the importance is the word has gotten out, and people are beginning to realize what we're having to do. And it's no longer an engineering conversation. Everybody knows with all the disasters and issues that we've had to face, that we've got a skills crisis.
Yeah.
And women represent one half of that, of our genres or genders out there. And so we need to get them engaged, because if they can take care of a kid, they can take care of a machine.
For sure. I agree with you on that one. There's so many things that you have to have going on. All the gears are turning for that one, for sure. Definitely.
Well, we got to break the Bubba barrier and get more women into the field, and get more women to realize that this is, they can literally change our society by changing manufacturing. And there's so many, and COVID taught us so many things that, essential jobs, and manufacturing was one of those. And so we've got to boost manufacturing. Singing's okay, but you ain't going to make a living at it. And our society will crumble if all we do is sing.
Yes, I agree. And I know, like in your chapter, you talk about some of the work that you've been doing, and you talk about the way that you helped a lot of other women, not necessarily in the United States, but globally, during the pandemic, and how you've been able to make an impact on them. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, during the pandemic, we all moved to Zoom, and we all started communicating. And, it really made me rethink what is, they say, love thy neighbor. Well, what's a neighbor nowadays? It's easier to push a button and talk to you in Trinidad than it is for me to walk across the street and talk to my other neighbor.
I can be your neighbor today, Joel.
Yeah, you're my neighbor too. And so all these Zoom calls, I got to meet all kinds of folks, and I hosted a weekly COVID call that we did to help makerspaces keep alive, so that they can respond to all the needs during COVID. And so and I got to meet all kinds of people. One of the people I met was a lady that ran a makers or a 3D printing company. It was their marketing, and she got tired of that company, and she was in Shenzhen, China.
Right.
And she wanted a job. And I was like, I've never helped any. I've helped over 10,000 people get jobs, but I was like, I never helped anybody in China. And I haven't physically been to mainland China, been to Singapore and Malaysia and all over that area, but not in mainland China. So I was like, well, maybe I should try to help her. So I ended up doing the research, sent her all kinds of lists. She ends up getting 3 job offers out of that list. And then she came back to me. She calls, because I got a gray beard, she calls me Grandpapa.
Oh my God.
And she sounds so cute when she says it with her Chinese accent. She says, Grandpapa, I got a problem. I feel like a woman who's got an offer to marry a man. I can marry him for his money, or I can marry a man for who I love. And I was like, what does that have to do with this? And she said, well, it's the same issue. I got a company that wants to pay me a lot of money, and I heard bad things about this company. But this other company I really like, and I need to make a decision. And I said, well, she said, what should I do? And I said, well, if I was you, I would tell the company that you like your situation. And come to find out, that was the first company that she interviewed with, and they asked her what her wages were. And so she just told them what she thought she was worth. Well, when the other company offered triple that, I was like, your value has changed.
A lot more. Yeah.
So you need to tell them that. So she told them. She said, well, first of all, she said, Grandpapa, we don't do that over here. We don't tell people that. That's not something we do. And I said, well, I don't care if you do it or not, but you need to do it.
Yeah.
The other country don't need to do it. You do it, because I'm telling you, they need to know that your value in the marketplace has changed. And they need to know if they want you, they can get you, but they're going to have to pay you.
Right.
And sure enough, they matched that offer and gave her a little bit more.
Very nice. Very well done.
So mentoring our youth and getting them to go beyond where their comfort level is, and doing things that they don't normally think is right, and realize, wait a minute, things have changed. Just because we used to do it that way doesn't mean that we need to continue. And so she now, and believe it or not, she's the one I bought my new 3D printer.
Oh, very nice.
And this is called the Anycubic Viper. And if you look around my room here, I've turned my den into a workshop, and I have made thousands of 3D printed items. It is so fun to go to bed and put in a design, program it, and then wake up and you got a present waiting on you.
Wow. That's so cool.
So this is Say No Evil. It could be a candle holder or a shot glass. Hear No Evil.
Right.
And See No Evil.
Good.
So I've got Valentine's gifts. I've got chess pieces. These are all these little chess sets here, and they're custom designed. This, as opposed to a horse, I made a dolphin into the knight.
Oh, that's nice.
And as opposed to a castle, I made a dragon into the brook. Made a owl, a nice looking owl into a bishop.
Right.
Made a beautiful, I don't remember the breed of this, but it's a peculiar owl that has these attributes. I think it's called the snow owl or something.
I think
anyway, so. It's really beautiful. And then I made, since King had to have Lion King as the king.
Of course, why not?
And then I have these little bitty owls that I shrank into the palms.
Right.
So I teach all, this is the kind of stuff, and I give this away. I'm actually giving these away as wedding presents. They become family heirlooms.
Right.
And because this is something they'll have in their living room forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also making, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. Let me see if I can. I'm making right now really cool ones that, believe it or not, glow in the dark.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
so you can
interesting.
literally, I'm going to move into my pantry so you can better see this. But it, believe it or not, you can play in the dark chess, and people can when and see
Oh,
the
oh
players.
yes. That's very cool. Oh, wow.
So literally, you could in the dark. Oh man, I dropped it. But anyway, that's what people can do if they want to. They can 3D print their
That's cool.
own products. Don't have to go to Walmart or some big box. You can
Yes,
do it yourself.
that is so
So
cool. And you get to teach people about that. And that's another
yeah,
whole other aspect of STEM as well. Because I know
yeah,
you're
and
doing that a lot.
yeah, and so that leads to one of my projects I'm real excited about. Is again, I go all over. I'm getting ready to go to Ohio, and I'm getting ready to go to Louisiana this September, and I'm doing a full Mischief and Mayhem program in Ohio for a couple of weeks. I'm going to be down at the Minnesota or the Louisiana Shreveport Maker Fair,
Right.
and I'm talking to groups all over the world. I was in New Zealand, did 650 kids there. But one of the groups I'm really excited about is working with underserved communities
Right.
and getting the communities who are being over encouraged to pursue the entertainment and athletics. They don't realize all the other jobs that are out
Mm-hmm.
there that are paying quite well. And we just added Toyota to our electric vehicle battery. They're paying $41 an hour for maintenance people,
Oh,
$80,000 a year.
that's good. Like,
So, so we got to get more people aware
mm-hmm.
of that. So Sanya, one of the things I'm doing is I'm working with the NAACP's local chapter, the
Right.
National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. There's a wonderful group of folks that are trying to. We're going to be setting up a 3D printer. I'm trying to raise money for an $8,000
Right.
scanner, and I'll be able to scan the heads. And once the kids see their head come out of a machine,
Yes.
and they see it, they'll be connected to that.
Mind
You
blown.
know, they may or may not relate to a part, but
Mm-hmm.
they'll relate to their head. So,
Yes.
so if we can 3D print
Mm-hmm.
statues and
Right.
bust of them and turn it in, maybe make a chess set of the
Right.
kids there
Yeah.
and have that there on hand, man, I've got them. I got
Yeah.
those kids' interest and excitement, and they will start learning all they can.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they do that, then that can move over towards, um, that can move to, machining. That
Right.
can move to all the maintenance. The cool thing about a 3D printer is it breaks down.
Yeah.
So that gives kids an appreciation of taking care of equipment.
Right. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So that really does elevate and boost the performance, and so that's why a lot of people call 3D printing. They call it the gateway drug to
Yes,
manufacture.
it is. Definitely. Because I could see how you get their gears tuning, you get them interested, you get them excited about something in STEM. And that's how we start breaking down the gaps that we're having with all of these, the skilled trades, getting more people involved in maintenance. It starts with the younger generation. So I am very excited and thankful for you in terms of the work that you're doing with getting more of these kids involved in that.
Well, thank you. And one of the things you just made a great point. I've been thinking about something. Uh,
Mhm.
Engineering pathways traditionally been highly structured.
Mm, Yes,
And I think the process of the structure has really pushed a lot of people away.
it has.
And as you just said, we got to fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So the education needs to be more liquid.
It does. People learn
We've got to
differently.
make it fun. We got to
Mm-hmm.
make it connect to the folks. And we can't just be, oh, we're the
Oh,
engineering.
yeah.
You know,
That does not work.
that that hubris doesn't make it anymore. We've got to
No.
be down to earth, and we've got to work with the folks and get it at their level, and then show them the importance. Oh, I got something here. I haven't even unpacked it from my trip to New Zealand, but you might be able to see it. This is my 50-pound hammer we call the
Oh, yes.
Therminator. It's still in the packaging.
Mm-hmm.
All I did was wrap it around with a blanket because it was too difficult to build
Yes.
a box or a container. So I just wrapped it up so it doesn't look like a missile.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't easy getting that through
True
customs.
customs, yeah.
But when I go around, I teach kids how to do these things, and I've got an infrared camera, and I get them to put a block of ice on, or a cube of ice on their forehead. Then they go around and look at each other, and they see that each one of them looks like they got a hole in their head.
Oh my God.
And I've also got an acoustic ultra. You've heard of UE systems and the acoustic ultrasonic
Oh, yeah.
leak detectors. Well, another thing that I do to get kids involved is I let them touch these $10,000 sensors
Oh.
and let them go around and learn how to actually, believe it or not, find a
leak.
transponder that actually has, you can see that, right?
Yeah.
So they point this, and I put an extenuator on it, and they can. We point it at a kid's head, and it's so fun to watch the kid when we put the earphones on it, and the kid can see or hear, I should say, he can hear his eyelids go over his cornea, and you can hear the friction as that goes through. And when they acknowledge what that is, their eyes just bug out. They're like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
And they hear it, and that's their eyelids going over the cornea.
Oh my
So
God.
this thing is so sensitive, and so it's very important. If we can go out and take the manufacturing to the kids, go out and show them the paychecks that people make, show them the pathways that they can go down, then we'll get more people to do this. And through your book, you're getting more people to realize this. And I know not enough people read books, but we need to encourage more to read yours.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to help you as much as I can.
And that started off with writing the chapter, Joel. I'm very grateful for that. And all of the work that you've been doing is like getting people and getting kids to actually touch that piece of equipment. They would never get to touch that like until they get way over the threshold in terms of the age, and some of them into the industry. But getting them to touch that and to experience that now, you've actually like set this mindset for them where they're interested in condition monitoring. So we have a bunch of condition monitoring analysts running around trying to, get more involved in ultrasound analysis, tomography, just getting the know-how. And sometimes, like in the past, a lot of people fell into that field because there wasn't much information about it. We talked about it, but guess what? As a kid growing up, they did not know about it. So I'm so glad that you're doing that work and you're getting more people involved, especially with the
Thank
younger
you. And we've
generation.
got to overcome what I call the future fog. You know what that is? Future fog. If you ask a kid what they want to do, they'll give you this look.
Yeah.
They're looking into the fog, into the future, and they're totally confused and baffled as to what to do. And they've been to school for 12 years if they went to finish high school, or they've been to college 16 years, and they still have no clue because we haven't taken them to where the jobs are.
We have not.
We haven't given them mentors in the career field. And that's one thing I'm challenging men who see this You need to find, I don't care if it's male or female, you just need to find a whole bunch of kids and mentor them. And definitely, if you can, more women, because once you show them some interest in what they're doing, and then they'll find interest in what you're doing because you're showing interest in them, then they'll may consider these pathways. And that's why I featured in my chapter that why it's important. That's why I did it internationally as well as nationally. I've been doing that for decades. It's important that we all show an interest in these kids, because we either, it's like a relay race. We either pass on the baton, hand it to them, or drop it on, which is better.
Yeah, definitely hear what
Sorry,
you're
I'm getting
saying
a
there.
little preachy here, but
No, that's
we got to
okay.
get out there.
We have to. Oh my gosh. But Joel, thank you so much for your time. I know that you are a very busy guy, and I love the work that you're doing. Check out Joel's chapter. It's the last chapter in the book. So of course it's like a very, very powerful chapter. It's about empowering more women in STEM. He has the maintenance crisis song in there, as well as the one for women. So you can learn the lyrics there, or you can check it out on YouTube. Totally up to you, whichever one you prefer. And check out the book. The book is available for purchase. There are a lot more other stories in there, and a lot of them talk about the non-traditional pathways into STEM. So, Joel, thank you so much for your time today. And
Thank you. And if whoever's watching this, if you've never been to a makerspace, do makerspace near me on Google and go visit a makerspace. It's like a YMCA, except you don't lift weights, you make stuff. Get in there and start hiring people. Get in there and start learning how to work with 3D printers. Get in there and start getting more people to work for your company. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome, Joel. So thank everybody, and check out the book, check out Makerspace, and we're so grateful for your time today. Bye.